you saved a good 40 hours thanks to PACE with the limited quant that you did. How useful was PACE in really helping you pinpoint those areas, and how helpful were these 40 hours that you saved?
Yeah, they were really, really helpful, right? Because this is a pretty long journey, and any time you can save is really significant. So, but in identifying my weaknesses, I think Pace did a really good job, because it gives you a couple of questions. Then if you can solve them correctly, it's kind of it's your strength. Otherwise, you can classify them as weaknesses. Then you can, the Pace really mapped out how I'm supposed to go about first building the concepts and then strengthening my problem solving skills in these weak areas. Yeah.
For example, estimation and rounding. That was one of your stronger areas. And here we can see, because you scored well on the diagnostic quizzes, PACE actually recommended that you skip all the files, just do the last bit of learning activity, that is the GMAT skill files, to just work on your approach. So I'm sure that as a working professional, any second, any minute, any hour saved is a big blessing, right?
Speaking about PACE, the PACE engine, even though you chose to go through a lot of stuff, you still overall have saved around 25 to 30 hours on the prep.
Yeah.
Right. So this is how the PACE has still helped you, by not just saving your time, but also helping you know where exactly you need to work on. Would you just like to explain how the PACE engine works?
Yeah, of course. Of course, you start with the diagnostic quiz and then the concept quiz. And if you are really good at it, it is going to skip a couple of files that you can see over here. I sometimes, if I like, for example, this one in terms of mixtures, if I'm not sure of mixture, I used to switch off the PACE and I used to go and still see the files. So those I did, but definitely it helps you to identify your weak areas and then jump to the necessary concepts which you want, which is necessary for your preparation. So that definitely helps you and saves you a lot of time.
I don't think I'll be wrong to say that you save more time than you actually spent on the prep, right? So how useful was PACE in trying to, because as you said, your major areas of improvement come from the idea. So I'm sure the time saved through PACE was really helpful in the. How effective was that, is my question.
No, definitely it was very effective, because if you look at everything at the entire course from scratch, right? And for somebody for whom quant is not the strongest area, perhaps the entire course makes sense. But for somebody like me, that in all those many hours to quant perhaps don't make sense, right? So to have this lever that basically helps you fine tune your preparation, so that you are spending lesser hours but still touching all concepts. I think that's key, because my goal was touching all concepts, making sure the hardest questions and hardest concepts I'm covering in the least time possible, of course. So because again, I had spent a fair amount of time on quant before I had taken GMAT. So I did not had to go through I did not even want to go through everything, because it would have been very repetitive for me. So
it's the screen, your algebra screen, where you saved close to 17 hours due to PACE. So essentially what you did was you took those two diagnostic quizzes and basis your scores there. You were asked to skip certain files. And the more I see your progress, I see that your concepts were strong. More often than not, your concept diagnostic quizzes were 100%. But the area of improvement was the GMAT skills, where you're essentially taking the knowledge that you had and translating it into being able to score those solve those hard questions, right?
Something, right? So I guess the biggest thing starting from was that, I guess your recommendation as well was that maybe go through the modules and give the fact that they were PACE enabled. I think that really helped, because I just wanted things done as quickly as possible, because I was getting too impatient, because I had given a lot of mocks, and I was that I was also getting very skeptical that would I be able to score or not, because it just felt like a never-ending process. So I just thought, what if like it just lasts forever? So went for this. I like did a pace-enabled course, and I guess like the biggest advantage of that is that it will tell you that these are the sections where you're weak at, so these are the sections you should do, and it will tell you that these are the sections you're strong at, so these are the sections you shouldn't do. So I guess that's actually really good, because that way I know that okay, I know this stuff, so I don't have to do it. So it just saves me time by just doing stuff which like statistically is that I do not do something.